Hello, and welcome back to the most consistently inconsistent podcast, When the Mask Falls. This is episode 15, Absence and Isolation. Absence and isolation. Two words that feel almost identical, but they cut in completely different ways. Absence is the hollow left behind when something or someone is gone. Isolation is the wall you build around yourself while sitting with that hollow. Together, they feel unbearable. Absence reminds you what you once had. Isolation convinces you that you'll never have it again. And when the two collide, it can leave you feeling invisible, even in your own life. Absence isn't always quiet. It has a way of being loud. Deafening even. It screams in the silence of an empty room. It blares in the buzzing phone that never lights up. It echoes in the memories you replay at 3 a.m. because your brain refuses to let them go. And then isolation shows up whispering lies. Don't bother anyone. No one wants to hear about this. Everyone else is too busy. You're just being dramatic. You're fine. Suck it up. And then suddenly, you're not just dealing with absence. You're trapped with it, alone. Absence hurts because it's about what's missing. Isolation hurts because it convinces you that there's no one left who could possibly understand. But let's talk about the hardest kind of absence, when you disappear. When you've stretched yourself so thin, burned out so hard, or numbed out so deep that you stop existing in your own story. Your body's there, but you are not. You're checking boxes, playing roles, nodding in conversations, but inside, you're gone. Blank slate. Isolation feeds on that. It tells you that if you can't even show up for yourself, how could you possibly ask anyone else to show up for you? It convinces you to keep quiet, to bury it, to perform normal until you don't even know what normal looks like anymore. And that is the terrifying part. Realizing that you've been absent from your own life. Realizing you've lost connection not just with others, but yourself. Isolation doesn't just happen when you're alone. It happens in marriages, in friendships, and in crowded offices, and even in the community. You can laugh and hug and make small talk while feeling completely cut off. That's the cruel trick of it all. It doesn't need an empty room to take root. Sometimes isolation comes by choice. You withdraw because it's easier than being vulnerable. You cancel plans, avoid calls, retreat into silence because the thought of explaining yourself feels so exhausting. Other times, it's not by choice at all. People fade, leave, get busy, have their own lives, or just simply don't even notice you're struggling. And slowly, you start believing that maybe you weren't worth noticing in the first place. So how do you cope when absence and isolation tag team you? There's no neat packaged answer. Sometimes it's about survival. It's about doing the bare minimum just to get through the day. Eating, showering, breathing. Sometimes it's about forcing one small crack in the wall, sending a text, going for a walk, and saying, I am not okay. Other times, it's about simply letting the absence sit there without trying to fix it, naming it out loud. This hurts. This is heavy. And this feels unfair. Because ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It just isolates you further. And maybe the bravest thing isn't fighting absence or isolation, but refusing to let them define you. Choosing presence. Choosing to show up, even in broken pieces, and saying, I am still here. Although this is a short and sweet episode, I think it's important to realize that absence is inevitable. People will leave, routines will shift, and opportunities will pass. Even we will sometimes lose ourselves. Isolation, though, is the part we have to fight, because as convincing as it feels, it's not truth, and it is not permanent. Presence. Your presence is stronger. Even in the smallest ways, even if it's messy and inconsistent, choosing to show up for yourself first cracks that wall of isolation. And when the cracks begin to open, when the light gets in, the absence doesn't feel quite as heavy. So here's the reminder. You are not invisible, you're not gone, and you are not alone. Even in absence, even in isolation, you still matter. And the moment that you step back into your own life, even just one shaky step, you prove it. Until next time, friends.